My name is Amber. Well, I don't have one yet. I'm a soul. Not the kind that haunts houses or goes viral on TikTok and then disappears. I'm a soul that hasn't been born yet. And today, I want to tell you about the time I reviewed my future parents' profile and decided, yeah, no, hard pass. See, up here, we have a system. Before any soul gets assigned to a family, we have to go through an application. Think LinkedIn, but for parents. It's called Apply to Be Someone's Kid. And I, after carefully reviewing every section, submitted my withdrawal. Part 1, the financials. First section of the file, finances. My future dad, 24 years old, monthly income, about $2,000. I'm not judging. I'm really not judging. I'm judging. Because according to a 2025 study, the average annual cost of raising a child in the United States, factoring in education, healthcare, housing, food, all of it, comes out to roughly $27,000 per year. That's about $2,300 every single month. $2,300 out of a $2,000 paycheck. So the math is not mathing. He would literally be negative $300 before I even learned to say dada. And I, as the person who would have to live in these financial conditions, feel that I deserve better than being raised on a budget that doesn't technically exist. Then I scrolled to the monthly spending breakdown. DoorDash, $240. Steam Games, $160. Streetwear he wears twice, $300. I can't function without coffee. Coffee, $120. Sir, you're failing to maintain yourself. I cannot parachute into this budget and go, hey, it's me, your kid, while you're sitting there calculating whether this month's paycheck covers your next skin purchase. Part 2, the living situation. Next, the housing section. My future parents are currently renting a studio apartment. 1 room. Now, I would need a crib. A crib takes up approximately 15 square feet, which means if I were to be born, I would immediately occupy a non-trivial percentage of the entire living space. The remaining space contains a queen bed, a wardrobe that doesn't fully close, a desk with 3 monitors for some reason, and a motorcycle parked inside because there's no space downstairs. There is a motorcycle inside the home, and they want to add a baby to this equation. I'll stay up here a little longer. No rush. I'm good. And look, I get it. I genuinely do. The generation that would be my parents is living in a world where everything costs more, but nobody told salaries about it. Housing prices went up, groceries went up, rent went up, healthcare went up. The only thing that went down is the birth rate. And honestly, from where I'm sitting, that tracks. Part 3, the social pressure, from my angle. But here's the part I found most interesting. While reading through the file, there's a whole section called external pressure. And this section was thick. The neighbor asks, so when are you getting married? The mom asks, when am I getting grandkids? The random aunt at Thanksgiving asks, you're not getting any younger, you know. Ma'am, with respect, mind your business. Here's what I genuinely don't understand. Why is whether or not I get to exist a topic for the whole extended family? I am a human being, not a life milestone someone checks off on a list. If my future parents aren't ready, financially, emotionally, spatially, then pressuring them into having me isn't love. That's using me. And I, as the one who would have to live that life, reserve the right to say, can we just wait, please? Get it together first, then we'll talk. Part 4, the reasons people give that don't actually hold up. I also reviewed the classic arguments people use to convince young people to have kids. Argument 1, have kids so someone takes care of you when you're old. Am I a person or am I a retirement plan? I understand family, I understand love. But if the primary reason you want a child is to have someone who will look after you in 40 years, I hate to break it to you. That's not parenting. That's a long-term investment strategy. And I did not consent to being anyone's index fund. Argument 2. Having kids gives your life meaning. If your life requires a child in order to feel meaningful, I gently suggest that the problem isn't that you're childless. The problem is that you haven't found meaning in your own life yet. And resolving your existential crisis by bringing me into existence is a lot to put on a baby. I don't want to be anyone's purpose project. Thank you, but no. Argument 3. And this is my personal favorite. Have kids to carry on the family name. Dad, the family legacy right now is a studio apartment with a motorcycle in the living room. What exactly am I carrying on? The lease? I'll pass. Part 5. But here's the thing, the real thing. Okay, I have to be honest about something. I don't actually hate the idea of being born. Up here, there are souls waiting, just waiting. Waiting for a family with enough love. Parents who aren't perfect, but who genuinely want this. And I think Gen Z, for all its struggling, when they're ready, they're going to be different kinds of parents. Different in the best possible way. Because they've been through enough to know what it feels like to not be heard. What financial stress actually does to a person. Why mental health isn't optional. Why childhood trauma isn't just how it was. And because they know those things, when they decide to have a kid, it won't be out of habit. It won't be because society told them to. It won't be because of some aunt at a holiday dinner. It'll be because they looked at each other and said, "We're ready. We want this." And that, in my opinion, is the best possible foundation for a child. Not social pressure, not a checkbox, not a guilt trip from someone who bought 4 houses in 1987 for the price of a used car. Just 2 people who actually genuinely chose it. Part 6, the closing, and maybe a see you later. So, my decision stands. I'm staying up here a little longer. I'm actually reviewing a few other applications right now. There's a couple in Colorado. They look promising. Small house, 2 dogs, and most importantly, they have what I can only describe as an actual savings account. I'm considering submitting an application. As for my 24-year-old future dad who's upset he had to spend his money on responsibilities instead of video games, hey, live your life, travel, figure out who you are, learn to love yourself before you're responsible for someone else. When you're ready, and you'll know when you're ready, I'll revisit the file. To everyone watching who's in their 20s and feeling the pressure, maybe your future kid is up here right now, reading your profile, and thinking, this one's still getting there. I'll give them a little more time. See you around. Maybe.